Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. I am Princess Habiba Saripaudak. Welcome to Balitang Pambansa. Tonight's headlines. The government's preparations for the rollout of the 20 peso per kilogram rice program is in full swing. The senatorial bets of the administration expressed gratitude to the overwhelming support they have been receiving, resulting in almost complete dominance of the list of senatoriables most likely to win. Philippine and U.S. troops take part in the last day of the multilateral maritime event of the highly successful massive interoperability military exercise between forces of several nations, top-billed by the country and arguably the most powerful nation in the world. On top of the news, the cynics and the naysayers said it could never be done. A sour-graping vice president even mocked the DA chief's announcement last week and said the grains under the program are intended for swine feed, not human consumption. Now, the president's campaign promise of 20 pesos a kilo of rice is set to make its debut in the Queen City of the South on Labor Day, as our Claysel Partilia narrates the full story.
Marso carefully measures the rice he is cooking to avoid any waste. He chooses rice that costs between 40 to 50 pesos per kilo, an affordable option, with the price of rice way above cost, and the high tuition fees of his 2 children. Saving every peso counts.
Maganda yung mura kasi sa halip na mahal yung mabibili mo, at least meron ka pang masisave.
Good news from the administration of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. Starting May 1, Labor Day, the government will launch the sale of BBM rice or 20 bigas mo, offering rice at just 20 pesos per kilo. The program will initially roll out in Cebu province. Sales of affordable rice will also begin across Kadiwa ng Pangulo centers on May 2 Friday. This initiative fulfills President Marcos's Jr. promise to make rice more accessible to Filipinos. It is also part of the administration's broader efforts to combat poverty and hunger.
Mahalaga po ang kapakanan ng taong bayan kay Pangulong Marcos. Papaluwigin pa po ang mga programa para matugunan po ang mga isyu patungkol po sa kahirapan at kagutuman. Yan po ang talagang ninanais at pinapalawig pa po ang programa para ito po ay matugunan. Kabilang na po rito ang 20 pesos kada kilo na bigas. Nandiyan pa rin po ang programang Walang Gutom program ng DSWD. Idagdag pa po natin ang patuloy patungkol dito sa Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program.
According to the Department of Agriculture, those in the vulnerable sectors, including solo parents, persons with disabilities, the poor, and senior citizens like Clarita, can purchase 20 bigas mo at Kadiwa centers. Consumers will be allowed to buy up to 30 kilos of rice per month, equivalent to 600 pesos. This is cheaper compared to the market price of over 8,000 pesos for half a sack of well-milled rice.
Mas gusto ko yun. Mas makakatipid lalo ako dun. Eh ngayon, yung 5 kilo kong bigas, baka abutin ng 3 buwan, 2 buwan pa yun. Kasi 20 pesos lang yun eh.
Malacanang clarified the affordable rice will come directly from farmers' harvests. The Agriculture Department earlier assured the rice is of good quality and classified as well-milled rice, typically sold at 38 to 54 pesos per kilo in markets. The palace guaranteed that the program will be sustainable until the end of 2025, and the government will set aside a budget for next year. In connection with this, the palace also highlighted the strengthening of the National Food Authority's rice buffer stock. This follows President Marcos's directive to intensify the procurement of farmers' harvest this season. The NFA reports that it has purchased around 10 million sacks of palay. Its rice inventory has reached 8 million sacks, the highest since 2020, enough to feed the entire Filipino population for 10 days.
Ayon kay NFA Administrator Larry Lacson, may natitirang 12 bilyong piso para sa patuloy na pagbili ng palay ngayong summer harvest. Dagdag pa ng NFA, ang tuloy-tuloy na pagbili ng palay ay hindi lamang para sa mga magsasaka, kundi para rin sa mga pagbibigay ng mas abot-kayang bigas sa mamamayan.
Kalezal Pordilia, Balitang Pambansa.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. orders the immediate provision of all necessary assistance to the families of those who died in the tragic incident at the Lapu-Lapu Festival in Vancouver, Canada. The palace says 11 people were confirmed dead, including a 5-year-old child and a 65-year-old senior citizen after a vehicle plowed through festival goers on Saturday night. The chief executive and First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos earlier extended their heartfelt condolences to the victims and their families. The president also assured that the public that the Philippine Consulate is closely coordinating with Canadian authorities to gather information and monitor the ongoing investigation on the incident.
Pilipino, minadali po agad na matulungan, ibigay po ang lahat na maaaring maitulong, lahat ng koneksyon para sa mga Pilipino po natin na nadamay po dito sa trahedya po sa Vancouver.
On the other news, with exactly a fortnight left till decision day in May, the ruling coalition is steadily making a dent in the polls, indicating the pulse of the people is leaning their way. Our Melales Moras has more on the latest results from a major pollster survey, which indicate at least 2/3 of the Senate seats going to the Alianza para sa Bagong Pilipinas Senate bets.
The Alyansa para sa Bagong Pilipinas is deeply grateful for the continued support of the Filipino people. According to the latest survey conducted by the Octa Research Group, all 11 of its senatorial bets are included among those candidates with a statistical chance of winning in the 2025 midterm elections. Based on the survey, 19 out of 66 candidates have a possibility of winning if the elections were held during the survey period from April 10 to April 16. This include Congressman Erwin Tulfo, former Senator Tito Soto, former Senator Ping Lacson, Senator Pia Cayetano, Senator Bong Revilla, Senator Lito Lapid, Mayor Abby Binay, Congresswoman Camille Villar, former Senator Manny Pacquiao, former DILG Secretary Benhur Abalos, and Senator Francis Tolentino. According to Alianza Campaign Manager Toby Chanco, this proves the Filipino people trust the goals and drive of their group in line with the Bagong Pilipinas agenda of the administration. They said the momentum is now with them but will not be complacent and instead continue to work hard for the coalition's success. Congressman Tulfo also seconded this and thanked his supporters. Last weekend, he also met with former Vice President Leni Robredo.
Lagi ko sinasabi kay Sec na always welcome siya dito. Kasi nung secretary pa siya ng DSWD, malaking tulong niya sa angat buhay.
We really appreciate that, na na-appreciate ni VP Leni yung ginawa natin doon. Kasi at the end of the day, we're Filipinos na we have to set aside yung mga political colors natin.
Meanwhile, former Senator Pacquiao visited Mati City and Tagum City in Davao Region. Bohol Governor Erico Aristotel Aumentado endorsed Mayor Binay. Lacson, meanwhile, campaigned in Quezon City. As for Senator Tolentino, he went to Lanao del Norte and pushed for the country's rights in the West Philippine Sea. Senator Cayetano, for her part, visited Caloocan City. While Congresswoman Villar went to the world's top abaca producer, Catanduanes. From PTV, Melales Moras, Balitang Pambansa.
After several days of intensive training across the Philippine archipelago, Philippine and U.S. forces continue to advance through the 2025 iteration of their annual multilateral maritime event, or the MME, a crucial component of the ongoing Balikatan exercises, recorded as the most complex in the history of the drills. This year's activity reflects the evolving and increasingly sophisticated nature of global security challenges. PTV's J.M. Pineda tells us more.
Earlier today, the Philippine Navy began a casualty evacuation simulation, which is part of the multilateral maritime exercises of Balikatan 2025. During the exercise, they carefully placed the patient on a stretcher and conducted a medical check before loading the patient into a helicopter. They also ensured that the safety straps were properly secured to guarantee the patient's safety. The patient was then airlifted to a treatment facility for medical attention. This is one of the scenarios which was carried out by the Philippine Navy personnel of the BRP Ramon Alcaraz, which could be useful in situations when soldiers need to transport an injured person to a hospital.
Gamit ang ating helicopter, Philippine Navy helicopter EW-109. Nagkaroon tayo ng dalawang senaryo sa exercise na ito. Una ay ang pag-transfer natin ng isang non-ambulatory patient, which is ito yung pasyente na hindi kayang maglakad na kinakailangang ilagay sa isang stretcher. Pangalawang senaryo ay yung pag-transfer natin ng ambulatory patient, which is ito yung may kakayahang maglakad at hindi na kinakailangan na isakay sa isang stretcher.
Commander Quesada also emphasized that treating patients aboard the ship is among the most challenging conditions, so it is essential for soldiers to know what to do in such situations.
Mabigyan ng karampatan at kaagad na lunas sa mga pasyente na dito sa barko para madala kaagad ito sa ating treatment facility sa kalupaan.
Cruzada also clarified that these exercises is not a preparation for any attack, but simply part of their training. He added also that the exercise could be applied to various crisis situations.
Pagdating po sa humanitarian assistance and disaster relief, ito po ay napaka-importante. Kagaya nga po ng sabi ko, for example po, kami po ay nagkaroon ng rescue and assistance sa isang mangingisda na natagpuan namin sa dagat. Pwede namin po itong transfer from our ship to the nearest treatment facility.
The Philippine Navy also reiterated that they remain focused on their mission to strengthen their forces despite the presence of Chinese PLA Navy ships during the Balikatan exercises. The safety of all participants in the MMEF Balikatan is also the top priority for the Philippine Navy. That's why they continued to monitor the movements of Chinese vessels closely during the exercises. From PTV Manila, JM Pineda, Balitang Pambansa.
Some House Solons urge the public to be critical and not support candidates who are pro-China. This comes after the revelation of the National Security Council, or the NSC, in a Senate hearing wherein China allegedly conniving with local public relations firms for the operation of troll farm in the country. According to House Deputy Majority Leader Paolo Ortega, this is not just about the foreign influence, but a foreign interference designed to infiltrate politics. For his part, Cagayan de Oro City Representative Rufus Rodriguez recommended to filing of charges against those involved in such activities, while House Deputy Minority Leader Franz Castro suggested that a probe be conducted on the said revelations.
Hindi lang ito treacherous, no? Siyempre ito ay malaking violation din doon sa election code. At saka doon sa, tingin ko rin meron din, may kinalaman din ito doon sa pagiging threat sa democracy, pagiging independent natin, baka meron din itong problema din sa soberanya. Kasi, siyempre kapag influence ka or ng foreign capital or ng foreign country, di ba? So, ang loyalty mo ay hindi sa Pilipinas.
Bringing years of industry experience to the role, former PTV Incorporated and IBC 13 legal officer attorney Robert Dolier has been named the new general manager of People's Television Network Incorporated. Among his top priorities, championing the welfare of employees and ensuring that PTV Network continues to live up to its role as the country's national television network. PTV's Christian Vascones has the report.
In his first few days as the new general manager of People's Television Network, former legal counsel attorney Robert Omega Dolier formally announced the plans and programs of his administration. GM Bob is a board top notcher and a renowned lawyer from the Office of the Government Corporate Counsel. During his first attendance of PTV's flag-raising ceremony earlier, GM Bob presented his platforms which will serve as his priorities as the head of the National Television Network. He stated he will focus on the welfare of the employees, including the pursuit of a reorganization that prioritizes salary standardization and additional benefits for state media workers.
What we discussed would be a little more pencil pushing, so we can have the program approved and implemented konti na lang. And so we can already place the people in our table of organizations. And hopefully adjust what needed to be adjusted, positions, compensation, and the sort, and the benefits.
After the ceremony, the general manager inspected the network's division offices to check on and listen to the concerns and sentiments of the employees. He also inspected areas in the establishment that need improvement or renovation. He expressed gratitude for the warm welcome extended to him by the PTV employees.
With that, thank you very much. I welcome you as you welcome me.
From PTV Manila, Christian Bascones, Balitang Pambansa.
Harry Roque, Cassandra Leong, Dennis Cunanan, and others have been charged with qualified trafficking in persons in connection with the illegal operations of the Pogo company Lucky South 99 in Porac, Pampanga. According to Department of Justice or the DOJ Undersecretary Nicholas T., prosecutors found that Roque may have been involved in the Pogo operations as he allegedly approached Pagcor himself to request for a license for the Pogo company. Prosecutors also consider Worldwide and Lucky South 99 to be one and the same entity. The DOJ stated that the case was initially filed in a court in Angeles, Pampanga, but it is expected to be transferred to the Pasig Regional Trial Court, where the case of Alice Goo involving a Pogo operation in Bamban, Tarlac is currently being heard. The National Task Force of the West Philippine Sea has refuted reports claiming that China has occupied Sandy Cay. National Security Council or the NSC Assistant Director General Jonathan Malaya stressed that there is no truth to such claims following reports alleging that China had taken control of the area. Sandy Cay, located just 3 kilometers from Pag-asa Island and within its territorial sea, remains under Philippine sovereignty. Malaya also clarified that no occupation is taking place in any unoccupied features in the area. He called on to China to maintain the status quo and avoid actions that could escalate tensions. Meanwhile, the government is continuously providing assistance to affected residents of the Bulusan volcano eruption in Sorsogon. According to the Department of Social Welfare and Development, or the DSWD, it prepared 200,000 family food packs for those affected. Meanwhile, the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or the PHIVOLCS, reminded the local government agency as well as the public to refrain from entering the 4-kilometer radius permanent danger zone and 2-kilometer extended danger zone, especially now that the alert level 1 has been raised. On the other news, the Ilocos region hosts a bird watching caravan for the first time ever to promote conservation. This initiative aims to help and preserve the Philippines' rich avian biodiversity for future generations. Mary Therese Ancheta from the Philippine Information Agency Ilocos Norte has the details.
The Ilocos region has launched its first birding caravan led by the Department of Tourism Region 1 in partnership with the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, Northwestern University, and local government units in the region to support nature tourism and bird conservation. Around 30 birdwatcher participants joined the event, identifying at least 119 bird species across the region. The caravan kicked off in Pangasinan and traveled through La Union, Ilocos Sur, and Ilocos Norte, visiting nature-rich places where birds live. These places include wetlands, forests, mangroves, and marine areas that are important homes for many birds, including migrating and local species.
The current chairman ng Regional Ecotourism Committee na ang layunin naman is conservation and protection of the environment. And at the same time, ang mandate ng DOT is to promote ecotourism activities. So the best way to do that is marry the two programs together and come up with an ecotourism activity sa mga protected areas.
Gusto kong magkaroon mas maraming tao ng knowledge about this activity, and this is one way of doing it, and kudos to Region 1 for putting this up. Matagal na naming pinupush by many means ang birdwatching para maging mas mainstream siya.
Organizers express optimism that this pilot initiative would help preserve the Philippines' rich avian biodiversity for generations to come. From the PIA Ilocos Norte, Mary Teresa Ancheta, Balitang Pambansa.
The government offers hope to mothers of children living with hemophilia, a rare inherited bleeding disorder in which the blood does not clot normally due to a deficiency in essential clotting factors. Jana Pineda from the Philippine Information Agency, NCR, tells us more.
May Vega's first son was only 7 months old when he was diagnosed with hemophilia. Tests confirmed later that her youngest son also had the bleeding disorder. The significant costs associated with managing her 2 children's hemophilia, with monthly treatment amounting to 200,000 pesos, often left May and her family struggling to make ends meet. That's why it brought comfort to her when she was given the opportunity to seek help from the government through the assistance of the Presidential Action Center.
Sobrang hirap. Financially, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, lahat ng factors mahirap. Then hindi naman lahat nakakaintindi ng sakit nila na kasi physically, okay sila eh. Physically, okay yung itsura nila. Mukha silang healthy kasi syempre normal naman talaga sila, but then yung sakit nila kasi nasa dugo eh. So pag nag-bleed, dun mo lang mararamdaman na may hindi okay sa kanila. Iiyak sila. Yung nakikita namin na may mga ahensya na ganito na tumutulong sa mga kagaya namin, nakakabawas siya ng stress, ng worry ng isang magulang.
Hemophilia is a rare inherited bleeding disorder in which the blood does not clot normally due to a deficiency in essential clotting factors. People suffering from this disorder experience prolonged or excessive bleeding after an injury, making them prone to bruises and internal bleeding.
April marks National Hemophilia Awareness Month in the Philippines. According to the Department of Health, hemophilia affects 1 in every 10,000 male children born in the country, a significant reality which calls for greater awareness and support. From the Philippine Information Agency National Capital Region, Jana Pineda, Balitang Pambansa.
And for our weather update, a low-pressure area has been developed outside the Philippine Area of Responsibility, or PAR. According to Pagasa, the LPA was located 735 kilometers southeast of General Santos City. It is currently situated along the Intertropical Convergence Zone, or the ITCZ, affecting Palawan and Mindanao, while easterly winds are impacting the real rest of the country. The LPA will bring cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms to the Caraga and Davao regions. The ITCZ will cause cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms. This is over the rest of Mindanao and Palawan, while Metro Manila and the rest of the country will experience partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms due to the easterlies. Meanwhile, the highest heat index of 44 degrees Celsius was recorded in Sangley Point, Cavite City today. And that concludes a rundown of the latest, widest, and most comprehensive news and information from all across the nation. This is your trusted source, always ready to inform and serve the Filipino people. Catch Balitang Pambansa again tomorrow at 7 a.m., 12 noon, 6 p.m., and 9:30 p.m. for more updates and developments. From Radyo Pilipinas, I'm Princess Habiba Saripaudak, and this is your Balitang Pambansa.